Good morning. I'm coming to you this Wednesday morning. It's a little dreary out here where I am, but I am in the parking lot at my work and settling in, clearing my mind, and just coming to you for a few minutes. The other day, I heard a phrase that caught my attention, and I thought that I would share it with you. The phrase was, healthy relationships include uncomfortable conversations. And I don't know about you, but I have had to have some of those uncomfortable, difficult conversations. And they were not fun. Some of them turned out well and were good for the building of the body and the soul, and some of them didn't. But it was my responsibility to have the courage to have that conversation, because healthy relationships include uncomfortable or difficult conversations. So the biggest and the hardest conversation that I've ever had, I specifically remember when I was on my way to that conversation that I pulled up in a side road in the neighborhood that I was in, and I sat there and just prayed, and I was quiet and just still and just prayed for what I specifically felt like that I needed. And there are two things that has helped me in my ability and willingness to have conversations. And one of them is working through the book called Boundaris by Townsend Cloud. The other one is understanding and learning how to go to Jesus, to God in prayer. That is the most important conversation that you will ever have to help you have conversations with people here on earth. Difficult conversations require a lot of wisdom. It requires great wisdom. So prayer and our lifeline to God, prayer and our lifeline and our time and our quiet time and our speech to God, asking for wisdom would be the key to being able to have great wisdom. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupt talk come out of your mouth, but only such as it is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So does that mean that our conversations are always going to be pretty? They're always going to be softened and not uncomfortable? No, it just means that don't let corrupting talk come out of your mouth. So whatever conversation, whatever words you're using, have a lot of grace with that, and try to consider building up the person that you're talking to and not tearing down. The other one is Colossians 4:6. "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person." So there again is the speaking with gracious. Be gracious, and practice that on a regular basis, so that whatever situation comes up to you, that will be your go-to. Proverbs 15:4 says, "A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit." So there again, it will break the spirit of the person that you're talking to if you don't really consider how you're talking and the words that you're using. So go in prayer to ask God to give you those specific words. I was looking, and David Jeremiah gives 9 questions to ask yourself before you have a difficult conversation. And I'm just going to list them off for you. He also gives a few verses to go to with that, so I'll give those to you also. His first question is, am I demonstrating God's love? Am I demonstrating God's love? Comes from 1 Corinthians 3:16. Second one is, am I spreading love? Am I spreading love? Third one, am I promoting peace? John 17:14. Am I promoting peace? Am I acting with compassion? Luke 10:33. Am I being generous? Am I exercising integrity? Am I practicing self-control? Proverbs 15:1-2. Proverbs 15:1-2. Am I practicing self-control? Am I humble in spirit? And am I being patient? Mark 8:34. And when I think back of that one particular difficult conversation, I believe that I may have not been the best that I could be that day, but I believe that the answer to these questions would have been yes, and the only way it was yes is because of my time in prayer with God. So I encourage you, the next time you need to have a difficult conversation, or even as you're going through your day and you're dealing with your people in your daily life, wherever that may be, I ask you to ask those 9 questions to yourself, and then go to God and pray to Him to give you the wisdom and the words that you need to have those conversations or those interactions. Have a great day. Have a great night. Try to find some time to have a little peace with Him today. Bye-bye.